Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? It's the emo herself here, back with another video. And since Dawn of the Demetrix is going to be coming out sometime next month, I figured why not make this video. So basically it's, as the title suggests, it's my sexuality headcanons for characters from the Iris lore in general. And here's some things I have to here's something to keep in mind before there's a war going on in the comments. These are all in my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with them. I don't think any of these are canon for all as I'm recording this video and probably publishing it and uploading it. So, yeah, with that being said, if you want to leave, your personal sexuality headcanons for the characters, leave them below in the comments. But please be sure to respect my opinion as much as I respect yours. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. And starting off, we got a Fodder Tyrant and Lady Fate. Obviously, I see these two being heterosexual, and the art you little sketch you kind of see is my headcanon designs for the both of them, and basically a headcanon that can kind of but they're really those really supportive heterosexual parents that you have that one friend who's got these really supportive parents and nothing much to say. Let's move on. And next up, we have, obviously, our protagonist, Goliath, who I see being a full-on demisexual. And the reason I'm saying this is because if we listen to the Iris novel announcement that was uploaded to YouTube about over a year ago or so, basically, everything around him has been destroyed, and for most of his life, he had to, guard the crypt. So basically, it'll probably take him a while to trust anyone to the extent of having a romantic relationship and all of that. So yeah, basically that's. So also we need more demisexual representation in the media in general. All right, moving on. Our boy Abram Valentine, and I see him being a biromantic demisexual. You probably noticed that two of the more important characters of the story I headcanon to be demisexual in some way or another. And I guess you could say that I'm kind of self-projecting my sexuality onto a couple characters. Which I guess you can kind of say that since I'm a panromantic demisexual myself. But there's more reasons to that. As we know, Abram had a tough life. He doesn't really have friends with the exception of Dovacom. And he has some trust issues, if we can tell about how he talks about his father and all of that. So I figured maybe he can get into a romantic relationship with anyone that's two or more genders, but anything sexual will probably have to come later. And a headcanon I have to kind of tie with the biromantic demisexual headcanon. Dovacom made a flag, a biromantic demisexual flag for his birthday once, and I'm still debating which one to use. There's the typical, demisexual flag with the biromantic heart that's, planted on there. And there's another option I had where it's kind of like a cape of some sort, where it's, the demisexual flag, but there's, and it's kind of a brooch with, the bi-colors. Either a heart, the biromantic heart as a brooch, or, the little Dovacom face that we see in Transmission 7 with the bicolors and all of that. And I think that would be pretty interesting. Not only have a protagonist be demisexual, but also, like, have the ante. Gonna be demisexual. Like, Abram's also an interesting character. So, yeah, with that being said, on to our next person, being Jebediah. And I'm pretty sure it might be kind of obvious, but I probably not to, like, probably to some people, but not to others, but I definitely headcanon Jeb to be pansexual, which I've put both flags on there, because I know some people who use, like, the alternative flag, other than the basic one, and that's fine. So, it's probably quite obvious, like, he was all dedicated to love and all that, and I feel like he would be the kind of person who wouldn't really care, like, what gender you are. Like, as long as you're, like, a decent person in his eyes, then he wouldn't mind getting in a relationship with you. Also, what Abram said to Jeb about him being so sweet. Like, you were always so sweet, so dedicated to love. Pardon my terrible Abram impersonation, like, whatever it's called. Anyway, so yeah, obviously I think Jeb would have been pansexual. And yeah, moving on. And next up we have Gabriel. Obviously I see him being heterosexual. Nothing else. Like, I feel like he'd probably only be attracted to women. That's the only thing we know about romantic stuff. He's, like, married to Bethany and all of that, so it's quite obvious. Speaking of Bethany, here comes the headcanon I have for her, which, funny enough, I kind of headcanon her to be bisexual. I don't know why. I just think it would be, like, quite interesting, because we don't know much about Bethany. All we know is that she was killed by Gabriel and all of that, and her and Gabriel's relationship probably took a bit of a slope down the line, and yeah, so basically, like, I think it would have been interesting just, like, some sort of, like, scandal going around the Domeplex about, like, Bethany, like, slept with a woman or something, and I guess it would be pretty nice. And I headcanon her to have, like, no leaning whatsoever, because she was married to Gabriel. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say, because, holy Jesus. Moving on to, Smiths, which I'll probably the first time I showed, like, my headcanon design to Smiths, like, out on to the public, I think. Like, maybe some of my friends probably saw his design, but yeah, there it is. For any of you wondering, please don't hurt me. Anyway, I personally see Smiths be like you're queer or questioning, mainly because, like, we don't know that much about Smiths. He appeared, like, in a few transmissions, which I think were transmission 3, transmission 5, and a bit of transmission number 6. So, yeah, I think he'd probably be questioning, like, not know what he is. So, yeah, moving on, we got a Utah who I headcanon to be bi with a female leaning, and I guess the reason should be quite obvious. Utah probably has a crush on Bethany, as stated as when he was talking about how he had to act as Bethany's husband for 3 weeks when Gabriel had an illness and all that. Like, and I think he may also have, like, some sort of bromance planned with Gabriel, but yeah, Gabriel doesn't really think that much about him in that way, or in a bromance kind of way, just as a really close friend and all of that, which kind of makes it even more hilarious. Anyway, we got King Vizon, also known as the leader of the Dam. Basically, I oddly headcanon him to be gay, and I think the reason being is because I don't think, for all we know, has it ever stated, like, if he did anything to, like, women or any of that. Like, only thing we heard with lines is, like, with Father Tyrant. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I don't know what to do for him because he barely appears that much as we know. So, yeah. Moving on. And finally, we got a Dovicom, who I was quite hesitant to put him in this video at first, because I know there are some people going to be leaping at that, like, he's a robot. He can't get in these kinds of relationships. What is wrong with you? Well, if you think about it, we have other shows with AIs getting involved in, like, romantic relationships. Also, big example being Karen from SpongeBob. But anyway, I headcanon a Dovicom to be a Ace, mainly because, like, I don't think he'd probably be interested in the romantic relationship, kind of, or a sexual relationship or anything like that. Like, he's so busy, like, working with Abram on, like, stuff like the Demetrix and all of. So, I just believe in the Ace and the friendship that he has with Abram, and, like, probably the many acquaintances he has with, like, the other people working in the Domeplex is probably just good enough for him and all that. And there we have it. So, basically, that's all the headcanons I have for, like, the characters, like, we know a lot about, or at least know at least a bit about in the Iris lore. Once again, this is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. If you want to leave, like, your headcanons down in the comments, I'm great with that also. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Auf Wiedersehen!